subsidies. Now, the president has made it clear that these subsidies are not working and a more permanent solution must be found. Now, reduction in the number of taxes levied on the petroleum products is a possible solution and a possible place to begin with if the subsidies must go or will go. Then you will pay nearly 50 shillings if the subsidies go more for a litre of petrol. Now, other products are also very likely to be affected. The Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, in his maiden speech, asked for time as the government settles to work. That time, many Kenyans who hinged their hope in the pre-election promises may not have. But it's just the second day at State House, on a day that Kenya revoked its recognition of Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic as an independent state. This is a developing story that we are keeping our eyes on and, of course, our ears on as reaction following that move begin. At Ken Mijuga across all social media platforms, the highlights. All right, I'm told the highlights are not ready, but tonight we talk about the state of the nation through the eyes of religious leaders. We put them to task as the dust settles on the elections and ask them what their role is and how they intend to foster the prevailing calm in the country. I will be speaking to Reverend Dr. Edward Buri, a columnist with the Standard, a scholar and a parish minister at the PCEA, Thome. Alhaji Hassan Olinado also joins us tonight. He is the National Chairperson, Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims, and Reverend Elias Agola, a member of NCCK County Coordinating Committee. That's in the second half of News Hour. At KTN News KE, the hashtag as always is News Hour, and Marisha Witty is on sign language tonight. Let's get the show on the road by beginning with our top story tonight. Now, President William Ruto is expected in the coming days to name his cabinet as he seeks to keep the government's agenda rolling. However, the president, who is barely 24 hours in office, will have a huge task managing a massive team of hopefuls who want to be part of his government. With a maximum of 22 cabinet slots up for grabs, KTN's political affairs reporter Emmanuel Toh interrogates. All right, obviously, that's the issue of cabinet slots. Only 22 constitutionally provided is a huge headache and a tough balancing act for the president, because he has so many people who are hoping not only to retain, but also hoping to retain or to be appointed to those positions. So it's a tough balancing act with so many allies and so many people who worked for him. Let's take a look.
William Samoei Ruto.
After taking the oath of office, the real work now begins for President William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza administration. The head of state is understandably in the last-minute steps of polishing his list of nominees to the coveted powerful positions in the country. According to Article 152 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the CSs are not fewer than 14 and not more than 22. It is these few spaces that have had the new head of state scratching his head for answers as he seeks to please all his soldiers and keep his promises as made during the campaign season. Although the final list is yet to be made public, it is President Ruto's pledge that whichever the number of CSs in his government, half of it will go to women.
I commit that we will ensure that the Public Service Commission, in all its advertisements and recruitment, and all government agencies, commissions, parastatals, and other government agencies shall strictly observe the 2/3 gender rule.
Since we have able and very competent ladies in the country, there should be no excuse why actually he cannot target that whatever he's doing, he picks out from the very able ladies who are in the country to form part of the 50%. In a sense, he would have met both his speech standard, and he would have also met the constitutional standard, and he would have also met the political promise.
I would want to see also the distribution so that it is not just half for the sake of meeting the promise, but it is half also for the sake of ideally also giving quality ministerial positions to also this particular agenda.
However, internal wrangles and shadow boxing is said to be simmering, pitting the Kenya Kwanza foot soldiers who stood with the president during the campaign season and new allies. Some of the new signings into Kenya Kwanza squad are former Makueni Governor Kivutha Kibwana and former Kisii boss James Ongwae, among others. Both are said to be angling for some lucrative jobs in the government.
People have come because they have lost and they are lonely. I mean, they can be given a seat just outside. You know, they can be in the compound, but they cannot really be brought into the inner rooms.
Once his cabinet is in place, Ruto's plan is also to have his CSS put on tours in Parliament.
Cabinet secretaries are public officials. They must be interrogated by Parliament. They must go and explain government policy in Parliament.
If this plan goes through, the CSS will be working in a style akin to the 2008-2013 Grand Coalition government, where the ministers answered questions on the floor of the House regarding their dockets.
And so we will be looking at how we can change the standing orders so that instead of cabinet secretaries going to committees of Parliament, they should go to the floor of the House and be asked questions directly by members of Parliament.
Emmanuel To, KTN News, Nairobi.
Now, a day after President William Ruto ordered that the price of a 50-kilogram bag of